my agent said, no, come on. I had like 2 Lou Grants that they were operating, and I was doing chips and those kind of things. And they said, this movie is going nowhere. As he said, they were even trying to like get away with doing it non-union. This was not a high-profile picture. It happened to hit the jackpot, and it had Steve, that's who I knew, to produce it and get it done really, really well, ruin the 3D thing. But you're looking now saying, Friday the 13th Part 3, at the time, this was not a high-profile job. And I was told it was not a good enough job. But I like these movies. So I said, I like Steve, I like these movies. But you kind of have to remember where this was in the hierarchy of 1980s.
I think Paramount had an inkling because this is the third.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, but I mean, in terms of like, what Paramount knew they were going to make their money.
Paramount didn't like these movies. Frank Mancuso Jr. was the son of Frank Mancuso Sr., who ran Paramount. That's why Paramount was distributing the movies. It is the president's son who was producing. They didn't like them, and they were considered a negative pickup. They weren't really a producer. They were Paramount Productions. We were an independent production that Paramount was going to distribute.
But the truth is, there's what's that saying that B movies make A money. That's the situation with this.
Not for the cast.
Tell that.
And so, these movies have been just, a cash machine for the studio because they invest a small amount and you'll find a good return. So, but yeah, the agents, I guess.
Yeah, no, but it's just kind of where this sat in the hierarchy of the time.
Yeah, until they got to Freddy vs. Jason, Part 3 was the most successful of the sequels.
Oh, yeah.
One had made a bunch of money, and 2 went down, and then 3 was really, the 3D was a huge thing. You guys are, some of you old enough to remember.
3D was, because you brought the mask. That's what made it, right?
Richard created Jason. That was, it's all Richard.
The real star of this movie is the 3D. Absolutely the 3D. It's not us, it's 3D. And after the screening for the cast and crew, I went up to Frank Mancuso Jr. and Steve, and I said, this is a really bad film. They said, 3D hasn't been done in 20 years, and it's named Friday the 13th. It's going to make so much money, we don't give a damn. They were right.
And David Beckwood.
And I never
Thank you, friends.
Do we have any other questions? Start here.
There we go.
When you signed on, did you know it was going to be 3D, or is that kind of from that you went started?
Yeah, that we knew, I think, yeah.
And then once we got filming, it became very apparent because the technical aspects made it quite challenging, and they would just spend so much time to try and get the technology and the cameras and everything right. And as an actor, you kind of want to maybe, you're never satisfied with what you're done. You kind of want to do something, another take. You're dreaming, dude. You're young. We don't care about you. We're moving on.
Yeah, unless we did make, 1 or 2 takes, that was it. Like, unless there was a 3D thing. Like, if I'm throwing the wallet at the camera, that was, it took like 15 takes. Because it was just like, you gotta hit the camera, you gotta hit the camera. It's not easy.
Larry and Danny made me 5 extra days of work because of that juggling scene. It took a while to get that right. And I got to show up and didn't end up working, but I got to benefit from your inaccuracy.
He's not here.
Yeah, he's only a skilled surgeon these days, but I'm sure his hands weren't that sure.
Anyone else? Freshman staff.
Who was the hardest partier on set?
Who was the hardest partier on set?
No. Yes, my dressing room smelled like marijuana.
Ow!
But I was just doing research.
Anyone else? Yes.
So with that being said, were you supposed to kind of do like that?
Not kind of, exactly right. Yeah. So like Paul, they chose me pretty quickly without officially saying so, but they told me very early, start growing your hair, start growing your hair. And you want to do a male, female, Cheech and Chong. They said it out loud. So, and it's funny because all the actresses I worked with were Hispanic, but not the one they ultimately cast. It's very strange. But I have 10 years of stand-up comedy under my belt. And I did comedy with Tommy Chong. And I told him, I said, before I was a comic, I was an actor. And I ripped off your character. And he said, all right, dude.
Anyone else? Oh yes, Brooklyn.
What was your favorite kill?
Favorite kill? What was your favorite kill?
In this movie? I would say eyeball.
Yeah, maybe.
Mine was the spear gun in the eye. When it came off screen and then went, just the whole thing was, I thought that was great.
Yeah. I remember in the theater, day one, seeing it in the theater with the crowd, first time, and the eyeball pops, and the whole place jumps. I mean, that's the thing. If you ever can see the movie in 3D in a theater, go. They just put out a new digital print. It's beautiful. They put a new surround sound mix on it. You will love the movie. You'll see it in 3D.
Well, I'll have to be biased a little bit. I thought my kill was phenomenal. And yeah, it was pretty awesome. The how they
World-class chest, yes, please.
Yeah. It took, as we're talking about the 3D effects, it took a long time. It was a whole day of shooting just to get that 1 4-second shot. But it wasn't it sort of a play on part 1, Kevin Bacon's death. And it was just a classic, night. Yeah, very specific scene, right? I would say that was fun. What's your second favorite one that's not yours?
Yeah. Come on, Tracy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Apple. That was pretty. Although Shelley.
The eyeball got enough people, man.
I'm just amazed that, Jason he kills Danny with the doing the handstand, and then gets his body up on top of the rafters, and Danny comes out, just gets in the hammock, doesn't notice, and flies, comes all over the place, like, just so oblivious. I really want to read this Fangoria magazine.
Priority. It's baby brain.
Fangoria magazine. That was such a beautiful touch.
Favorite kill? Well, first of all, I want to say about my kill that I was upset that they didn't show it. They did the makeup for it, they burnt my headband, they burnt my glasses, they flailed my skin. They never show it in the film. I don't know why.
It is all about you, dude.
It is. This is a film about David King. No, I have to go with your choice. I like the spear gun. I think that's pretty fun. Didn't happen to me.
Well, it's silly. Some like chocolate, some like strawberry, some like vanilla. They're all just what they are. They're all so much fun.
Are you running for office?
These guys can't hire me.
But they can get you another punch. They can pester the promoter until they hire you there.
Yes.
Right?
And I'll save my answer till then.
Okay. All right. Any questions over here? Yeah.
We're from Pittsburgh, so we're in the land of like Palm speed, practical, super gore effects, a lot of detail in that. But as far as your movie and the experiences you've had, what do you like more? What's your flavor? More practical effects, which take a lot of time and also a lot of cleanup, or stuff that's been more digitally edited or 3D or things like that? Some of the newer styles.
As an actor, you like the practical because you're in the middle of it, right? And you're working, and you're on the set, and everybody's hovering around, and it's challenging and exciting. You got to get it done in one take because you only have one appliance that they have ready. It's edgier. It definitely works. As the actor in the center of it, you definitely like the practical.
And as an audience member, the CGI always takes me out. Yes, it can be done really well, but it takes me out of the story, of the reality. So for me, practical all the way.
Nobody ever says, wow, what a great digital effect. You go, look at the head exploding scanners. Look at the guy getting his guts torn out and on the dead. That's, look at the eyeball is practical. I mean, the spear is just a nice cut. But the handstand was practical. They built that.
Well, and even going back to like Sam Peckinpah movies, that kind of stuff, like the craft. I'm not trying to minimize or denigrate the incredible work that behind the scenes digital people are doing today. But that kind of crafting and making films, I just really have an affinity for that. I think it's just really beautiful and it adds to an audience experience where they can capture that on film. There's just like a fabric to it that you can feel. You may not be consciously aware of it, but you sense it and experience it differently, I believe. Kind of on a similar track, Neil Young is on a real campaign about music. And he said that even the way, like when a song is played on a vinyl record, the way those notes come out is, in a pure sense, our brains receive them in a way that doesn't happen digitally. To the point where when they digitally remaster and then apply that to vinyl, you lose something than what they had back in the day. I don't know if it's because Neil Young and I are both a little bit dirt, but I just appreciate that perspective.
Yeah, I want to say Paul is really old.
Oh, you didn't give him the same movie you gave me.
He's actually older.
I'm the oldest one, so I can say anything I want.
You little baby. Okay, anyone in this section? Anyone in this section? Anyone in this section? No? All right, I'll continue then.
Can I say one more thing about hair?
Of course, David.
I like anybody with hair of any type. They ask me if I'm losing my hair. I'm not losing my hair. I know where it is. It's in the shower floor. I'm not calling Scotland Yard. Hello, do you see my hair?
You one day too will grow old. Let this be an example.
All is there.
And it's not too great. I don't know what the hell happened. I just won the lottery of that.
It is not CGI.
All right, let's go back to the good subject. I'll ask the question before David comes.
Okay, so, sir and ma'am, you've been doing this a long time, obviously, right? And we all know Friday the 13th. What advice would you give your younger selves before you walked into this movie?
Knowing what we know now.
What would have helped you back then, walking into this, and when it's
Great question. Somebody else answer.
well, I was already I was already pursuing a different career. I was going to be a broadcast journalist, and I was already done with the business. I was done, and my mother, an agent, I was moving to Michigan, Ann Arbor, to go to college, and my mother, the agent, says, "Tracy, you got it." I'm like, "Mom, I'm done. You just go on. It'll pay for college." And she was right. And I worked on the film, and all I was thinking was this is tuition at the University of Michigan. This is what this is for. So I didn't have the pressures or the stress of, God, I hope I'm good in this movie, because I wanted to lead somewhere for my future acting career. I was like, this is fun. And I'm just making money so that I can go pay for college. So when I look back now, I probably would have had even more fun, because where it ended up is incredible. And the fact that we're here 40-some years later is incredible. Yeah. And I'm so grateful. Like at the time, I thought, I'm going to be taken serious as a broadcast journalist, and I'm going to cover major stories. I'm not going to talk so much about my acting career, because I don't want to be thought of as some limbo, so anyway, I would have had more fun than I did, because knowing where we ended up 40 years later, because I did keep my career kind of under wraps for the first few TV jobs, broadcast jobs I did. Again, I wanted to be thought of as a hard news reporter. So fast forward to 1995, and I'm covering the O.J. Simpson trial in Los Angeles, and
For NBC News, by the way, not just like no. Like she was, like we all knew Tracy.
And I got subpoenaed by the defense team. They wanted me to reveal who my confidential sources were. And there's a thing called the SHIELD law that protects journalists from revealing their sources. So I knew that I was never going to reveal my sources. But it was kind of a scary time. I had to take a witness stand, and the entire world was watching. And so I was like panic-stricken that I would say something stupid or more stupid in front of the world. But the National Enquirer ran a story. Now this is 15 years after the movie. I'd been a reporter for 7 years, 9 years. Ran a story from Friday the 13th. Remember, I had the shower scene. Topless news reporter to testify in the O.J. Simpson trial. As if I'm doing my news reporting. And it was in the National Park. And of course, at the time, I was again like, oh my God, this is going to ruin my career. Now I laugh. I think that's just ridiculous and funny. And hey, look, I made the National Enquirer. But at the time, it was crazy.
Who was the source?
Yeah.
Just coming for just a second, you talked about, you might be the only one here that has been doing this for a very long time, right?
I did my first commercial.
Right. So, what advice would you give China? Like when you were aware of what you were doing, and what would you like to know then or tell you 5 years ago?
Well, back decades ago, the industry was very competitive. I competed against Jodie Foster, who's a brilliant actress, and Helen Hunt, and Christine McNichol, and Melissa Gilbert, and a lot of really good actors. I was an average actor, but I was fantastic. But it still was competitive. Today, it's ridiculously competitive. And I would say my mother's an agent for children. She's retired now, but her business is still thriving in Los Angeles. Just know if you're getting your kid in the business, they have to absolutely be passionate about it. They have to, like, it's all they want in the world, because it's so competitive. There's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of rejection at a little age, young age, and if your kids want to do it, your parents, and you're raising children who want to be actors, it had better be their choice. Because if it's your choice, it's really hard.
And don't you think too that a lot of young actors, they have kind of a dual motivation. Particularly now in today's world with social media and constant exposure, trying to draw attention to yourself. The idea of being known, a celebrity and beyond, that is not the perspective you want to have. You want to be a creative artist. So when you see a child that wants to have it with a passion, they better have a passion for creativity and performance, not for the attention that performance will ultimately get them. Because with the people that are successful are the people that are good at what they do. And that's a fine line, because I think, and for me at that age, that's what I tell myself at that age, was to be more focused, for sure, and not let the distractions of what was happening. Because it was a big deal for us to get on this film. For all of us, we're like, wow, this is really cool. And so it's just hard. You show up and the camera's rolling, and you gotta be there. So there's a lot of lead up that you can do to stay undistracted. And it's hard though. So that's what I would say. Yeah, for anybody, it's not an easy thing to do.
I'd like to add to that, though, and say that if they do it, if they really are into it, and they do it, being told no all the time is good for humans. We don't get everything we want. And for them to say, okay, I didn't get 8 of them, but I got the 9 television, that's great. That really makes you stronger in character, to be told, okay, I can suffer, I can get setbacks, but I can have successes too. That's what I would tell
They
myself.
can get that and then also lots of years in the therapist.
Yeah. But they need money too, so.
How you, Larry?
I think I would say to myself, like, we were in the #1 movie in the country for 2 weeks. It was the #1 movie. It was like, right, it grossed the equivalent of like $60 or $70 million. I mean, more than that, like over in decades ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, now I'm the shit, right? Now I'm gonna work, and no, like nobody cared. Like that's not a thing. Like nobody's like, you're in a horror movie, now you're gonna do more work. So you better be don't get above yourself because no, they don't really care about horror actors. I mean, you can look at the Friday the 13th cast. There are a few, Kevin Bacon, Kristen Glover, and Amy Steele, but she was famous before. Kane was famous before. People were they didn't become famous. Like that, people from Friday the 13th didn't really go on, and we've all kind of become professional and lawyers, chiropractors.
Yeah, that was a disappointment, actually.
We all left the business. So you just get if you want to be acting, do it, but then keep hustling, keep studying.
No, I got drawn into that, and I believe I left Judy as my agent because I had an agent who thought that because I did this role, Friday the 13th, that I was ready to jump maybe 2 or 3 tiers, and it was a huge mistake because as an actor, you just gotta keep moving, and it's incremental. So this agent fed me with a lot of maybe what I thought I wanted to hear, or I just was gonna make a star. Yeah, or I just was, got his enthusiasm. So I was going out for auditions against Christopher Walken and people like that. I'm like, I knew in my mind that I wasn't in that category yet. Maybe I couldn't get that way. And so the rejection wasn't just the typical rejection. It was rejection because my agent wasn't building upon what I just did. Just take the next baby step, and you don't go from step A to D. You go to B, maybe you can go back to A and then go to C, and you move your way up. And so that's another thing I would tell my young self is don't get ahead of yourself, and don't think or let somebody like an agent tell you that you are until you've earned that.
I would also say this, it's called show business. So many actors, they're good at the show, they can act, but they don't know how to hustle. They just don't know how to hustle for their own work, and you really got to. You got to.
And have a lot of luck.
And got luck. You got to have luck too. If you don't hustle, you're not going to do it.
I know David's hogging the mic and all.
I'm trying to hand it to her.
No.
Take it.
It's a question about the experience and
What
would
would
I
you tell
change
yourself?
anything
No, what would you tell your younger self knowing what you know now?
about this particular
Yeah.
3D experience?
Were you in the
No,
room?
no.
Were you in the room for the last 20
Okay.
minutes?
I would tell myself, you're doing great,
Yeah,
keep going.
That's right.
I've never made a mistake.
But he got more. Okay.
In your guys' movie, Jason finally got the hockey mask. At the time, did you realize it was going to be as iconic as it did?
No way.
Except for Larry, he thought.
I mean, who would know that there would be? We thought it would be the last movie. No one thought there'd be another movie. But I knew enough to ask for the mask. I said, "Can I keep it?" And they're like, "No."
Say no.
So, but then no one knows where the three masks. So it got lost. Probably worth a couple $100,000.
It's probably like a pop song, really popular. People have a sense that something's going to happen. We didn't have that sense, but I don't think anybody had any idea that the hockey mask would become such an iconic.
Well, I never even saw Jason in the hockey mask. Neither did you. You have one you never seen him in the hockey mask. You don't. I mean, we don't.
Well, I saw him on the set of the hockey mask.
Right, but he's not but it wasn't like a thing. Like you go oh, it's going to be a thing. You're we don't even have scenes with him. Where you see oh, this is cool.
A happy accident.
Our Jason was Richard Brooker, and he was British. And the first time I saw him on set, he had that hockey mask on, and he was walking around with a pipe. He said, all right, who am I going to kiss now?
That